Hey, it's Cortavius. I have never done a tier list on this channel. They just haven't resonated with me, and I thought, is that what CCs do when they need content? But I was sitting here tonight and thought, you know, I've never done one. Let's go see what that's like. So, best epic in every faction here. And as I went through to prep for this, I really enjoyed it, actually. Just sitting there thinking that through and trying to pick the best one and narrow down. So I hope when you watch, you have the same view and would love some interaction, and maybe you can tell me who I snubbed and who I got right. So before we do that, though, click the link in the description below, and you can actually add Narma to your account when you start a new account as a legendary poisoner. You also get the best epic in the game, Uugo, and you get Mausoleum Mage and Anax as well. And if you enter the code Desert Queen, you can add to Anax as well. Oh, I probably should tell you, there's 4 things you need to do, though, to make that work. Step 1, log out of Player and Play on the PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid, complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and you'll find Narma waiting. Enter that Desert Queen code, add to Anax, and you're off to the races. All right, so back to the best epic in every faction. So if I go into Banner Lords and I scroll to the epics, I'll kind of call out who I'd have in contention and then narrow to the top of each one. So Horde and Lord and no. So Archmage would be in the discussion. He's a very good epic who brings in increased speed, increased crit damage. So he's got a stun, AoE, he's got control. He's a really good champ. You've got Stag Knight in here, who puts a decreased speed on his A1, and he's got a decreased defense AoE, and he does some damage. Very good epic. You have Lady Annabelle, who I'd put in the discussion just because she can solo Bommel 90. That's probably her main claim to fame, but that's a big accomplishment. She can do it on full auto. I don't know of another epic that can do that. So, and actually there's not many champs that can do that in the game. So that's pretty crazy. And then Ursula the Mourner, she's got one of the best revives in the game. Full revive, 75% HP, fills her turn meters by 50%, increased defense, and a strengthen. That's a great ability. Plus, she's got speed and Doom Tower, she's got an AoE decrease attack, and puts an increased attack on all allies, and a 55% chance of decreasing the turn meter on anyone. So she's a really good epic. So if I had to narrow that down, I think where I go with it is I have Ursula as the best in the faction. I just think that revive makes her powerful, plus the AoE decrease attack. She's great in Hydra then, if for a player that doesn't have all the champs, and anywhere. You know, you can use her to keep the team alive and to bring the team back. And I'll give Stag Knight the runner-up. He is definitely a great epic. Amazing enough, never built him on the main. So that is Banner Lords. High Elves. You've got Royal Guard in there. He's the OG max HP champ, and he's also got a decreased speed on his, 3 random enemy attacker on his A3, and he's even brings a decreased defense for which you can use against the bosses on his A1. Great champ. Tayrell's got an AoE decreased defense. He could be in the discussion. You've got one of these guys, Neldor. Neldor's really good too. He's got a freeze on the A1. He's got decreased attack, decreased accuracy, decreased speed, and whenever an ally places a freeze, he can come back with his A1 as well. So on Fire Knight Hard, he is phenomenal. But he actually does well to control waves too, so he's really good. And then you've got Vergus, who could be in the discussion just because he can solo the Scarab boss. But I think he gets outclassed by some of those others. So, and I guess I missed Skaramis, actually. Did I skip by Skaramis? Skaramis is an incredible champ. So he's got the HP in all battles, plus he's got a chance, 100% chance to provoke on a 1 turn, puts counterattack continuous heals on him, AoE, decrease the duration of the enemy buffs. He also puts up a decreased attack, fills his turn meter, and he's got a chance to stun and steal turn meter on the A1. Man, that's a strong kit. So if I had to call it, man, tough call between some of these. I'm going to give Royal Guard the win as the best champ. Just can be used against a lot of bosses, from dungeons to Doom Tower to Hydra. He's still a great champ, even though he's been around. And I'll give the nod for number 2 to Skaramis. Never built a Skaramis on either account, but I think that's a great new epic they added. All right, Sacred Order. We have Sanguina's actually an underrated champ. She's got a chance of transferring all debuffs to the target, removes all debuffs from all allies. So she's got a full team cleanse. She has a block debuffs and a continuous heal on all allies. So she brings healings and block debuffs and decrease the duration of 2 random buffs on each target for 3 different targets. So she's got partial strip, she's got a full cleanse, a block debuffs. She's a really good champ. So I do like Sanguina. Mordecai is an HP burner. His claim of fame, though, is that his HP burn can land on any affinity. He has a place of his HP burn. So even on Hydra, when the poison clouds are up, he can place it on all the Hydra heads. And for spiders, he's great for getting people through progression because he can land it on every affinity. And he has a real underrated turn meter to his kit, too, where he reduces enemy turn meters a lot. So Fenax, fantastic for single target block revive. He's great in Ice Golem. And when you get a 6-star Awaken Fenax, he can do crazy stuff in a lot of places in the game. So his stock has risen. He's actually better. Deacon, one of the best epics in the game. Decreased defense, turn meter manipulation on both the enemy and your team. Yeah, Deacon's one of the best epics in the game, I think. You got Shamael in here, who can strip fears and take out any one target. When you build that guy right and put buffs on him, he'll take anybody out. And then Godseeker, what a faction. These guys have great epics. Godseeker with her revive, and you take her into Sand Devil, she can carry a team with any team, any other person she can help you get through Sand Devil. So Godseeker's phenomenal. So if I had to pick between all them, I go Godseeker with the win, number 1, and I'll give Deacon the nod for second. That's a real tough call between those two. Deacon's endgame. That guy's great. So, but I'll go Godseeker 1, Deacon 2. Tough faction. All right, Barbarians. Alina, Jotes, and Sakara. Tour, Armina. Wow, that's a tough stretch. Alika used to not be great. I mean, look at the books on her. Oh man, is she a librarian. Yeah, those were 3 different skills with those big piles of books. But she is a nuker. She can really hit hard. And she puts all the enemy skills on cooldowns by 2 turns. So she's got a skill cooldown, and she can hit hard. So she'd be in the discussion. And then May, Barath, Jamarsa, Woad, Painted, Haikatun, Vala. Farrakhan the Fat is also a great epic. He's got the ally attack. He's got an HP burn and poisons. Decreased defense on the A1. So he's got all 3 skills are really good. And then, yeah, nobody else really stands out to me. So honestly, Barbarians, I just named 2 of them, and those would be my 2. I'll give Farrakhan the number 1, and I'll give Alika the number 2. Love to know if there's somebody I missed in here that it just doesn't look like a very good faction. So we'll blow by them and save some time. All right, Ogren tribes. We have Uugo. All right, next faction. Seriously, Uugo's probably the best epic in the game. AoE block buffs, decreased defense, a heal, a partial cleanse, leech. Man, Ugo's got a great kit. Claude's actually pretty. He's not Ugo's class, but I do find use for Claude. I like Claude. Skull Crusher's got point to his kit. Shatterbones does a real good turn meter manipulation. Old Gruckus is a really good champ too. He's got a diversified kit. Maneater for unkillable teams, and actually you can use them other places. And then Skrank is a great epic. He's got an HP burn AoE, and then increased attack on himself, does turn meter manipulation, a weaken on his A1, and he gets attack and crit damage every time an HP burn triggers. So he can actually hit hard along with his HP burn, does damage through HP burn, and then hits as well. I've never built Skrank, but he's a champ that I definitely would like to get to. He's really good. And then Uragrim's underrated. He was best epic in the game when he was launched, and then they nerfed him before they launched him. But he's still a pretty good epic as well. So, and there's probably a couple others in there I could name. So that's a pretty good overall group. But Uugo definitely for the win. And I'll give Skrank the number 2 in the faction. All right, let's see who's next. The Lizardmen, right? All right, Lizardmen epics. I would say in this one, yeah, Jarek's useful. Mage is a very good champ. So she brings up poisons, heal reduction. She's got poison activation on her A1 and decreased attack on a single target. So Mage is really good. Aax, man, she's definitely lost its place relative to other epics, but I just have a fond place in my heart for Aax, one of my first champs I had on my main account. AoE, decreased attack and decreased crit rate, that's a place. So no affinity issues. Force affinity, but can put it on any affinity. And almost all PvE champs in this game have 15% crit rate. So when Aax drops a 30% decreased crit rate, none of the enemies PvE can do a crit on your team, and she puts decreased attack. So she really mutes the damage that your team can take. I found that incredible, and if you put enough speed on her, she keeps it up the whole fight. And she brings a heal and extends debuffs every time Aax is hit. I keep saying she, I don't know what Aax is, I guess, but yeah, great kit. Great kit for Aax. Broodlord, Xeon, Jizo, Quargon, Delaja, Broadmost, Catholics. And so honestly, yeah, I'm giving Venom Mage the win with Aax a second place there. All right, on to Skinwalkers. If I look at epics here, there's Ripper, Rain Beast, Snorting Thug, Earth Sign, Ice Crusher, Earth Sign, Ironhide, Ophrys, Steel Skull. I gotta pick somebody here. Fane in the discussion, very good damage dealer, but single target everything, and she's squishy, so you got to keep her alive. Bolvos is a new one. I really like the kit. Heals an ally by 10% max PV anytime they're hit with a crit, so it got some heals. Removes one random debuff from all allies, so you've got a partial cleanse, and also increased crit rate, increased crit damage on all allies for 2 turns, unfortunately on a 4-turn cooldown. And then at AoE, decreased crit rate, decreased crit damage. So what I just talked about with Aax, you got another champ here who can, mute the enemy's damage that they're going to do. And puts a decreased speed on a single target. That's probably more useful for bosses who often you can't put decreased speed on. So, but you can at least get something out of the A1. So Bolvos, underrated. And then Basher, I think that might be the only epic in the game I don't have. So Basher, claim to fame really here is the increased cooldown of all skills by all enemies by 2 turns. It's not a full cooldown, but you take 2 turns off everybody's skills and you go fast enough. Basher's, one of the rare epics in the game that can reset skills. Kentum is a really good champ. You've got speed in all battles. You get Hex out there, can do some damage. You get poisons. And there's some crazy strats out there where between the poisons and the Hex, it's triggering damage on the enemies. So she can, Kentum can really be used in hard spiders with those abilities. So Kentum pretty useful. So if I just had to step back and rate, I'm going to go with Kentum number 1, and I'm going to go Basher with the runner-up. All right, Orc epics. So you've got Duck the Pierce, does a provoke and a decreased defense. Useful. Jorg's got some really good skills, and Reviver in the faction. You've got Tagore, who a lot of people don't know about, but that's actually one of the free champs that have been offering a lot of promo codes. Decreases the damage allies receive of 50% or less. You've got a full team revive with a shield on them. And AoE, increased speed on all allies, then heals everybody. And then places increased defense on ally with the lowest HP. So just speeds, heals, revive, just a great champ to help keep the team alive, is from that champ. And then who else was I thinking about here? I guess Seer, can't look past Seer. Seer, one of the better epics in the game, just destroys waves. And if you can reset or get her to the next one, throw some buffs on her or the enemy, and she just speeds up every team in the game that is wave-based content. Pretty useless at the boss all over the game, but I'll give her definitely the number 1 just because she's on so many endgame teams that just run the fastest content. So more options these days to do that, but I still, as an epic, she's crazy on the damage she can do. So I'll give her a 1, and I'll give Tagore the number 2. All right, Demon Spawn. So some really good ones in here too. You got Allure, who's got one of the best turn meter reductions in the game. Really, her kit all comes down to the A1. 3 times on one target, or a random, and decrease the target's turn meter by 25% of each hit. So on bosses where you can decrease their turn meter, she's crazy good. They tried to neuter, take some out of her in the hard bosses in Doom Tower where they only let her do half of it, but she's still good at that. So lost her place in hard Fire Knight, unfortunately, because she was a Fire Knight goddess at the time, with normal Fire Knight, but lost it there. Achak, a really good champ, does HP burn or freezes, can heal, can do turn meter manipulation. Magnar, just a damage dealer, but the dude can nuke, and he's HP based and stays alive. So Umbral's worth a call out just because she can do a block buffs on a 3-turn cooldown for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So she can keep block buffs up the whole fight. So for a budget Hydra option, that's pretty powerful. Problem is she doesn't have really anything else in the kit for that. So number 1, I'm going to give Magnar. Number 2, I'm going to go Allure. All right. That was Demon Spawn, Undead Hordes, Epics. Seeker, such a simple kit. All Seeker does is boost the turn meter of all allies and increase attack, and then can provoke on the A1. That's really it. It does put an increased defense up when he's hit with an increase on all allies when he's hit with a crit. So I guess there's worthy calling that too. Brings protection to the team. And then, boy, just turn meter manipulation. And simple kit, but Seeker's really effective for that. You've got Husk in here, the max HP AoE hit, and also provoke on his kit as well. So, pretty useful in Hydra, actually. Can put the provoke on the head of Decay and can do AoE damage. You got Vogoth in here, just a great healer. Just sits there and takes hits and heals the whole team. Can be used in endgame bommel strategies, anywhere you need to keep your team alive where there's somebody hitting the hole doing AoE hits. Anax, great damage dealer for unkillable teams. And Ostrox, just a champ I've never built, a newer one, but he's got a chance to reflect debuffs that hit him. He removes one random debuff from all allies and places increased accuracy on your allies as well. So you got a partial cleanse and accuracy buff, chance of placing block buffs on an enemy. And if there's 4 or more enemies, which is Hydra and a lot of PvE and PvP content, you can do it for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So kind of that, the one I was just mentioning on the other champ that had that, Umbral Enchantress, but he brings other stuff into the kit. And he can transfer debuffs back to the boss. So Ostrox are really good. And he's Void Affinity, so he won't weak hit. Just really good champ there too. So if I step back then and say Undead Hordes, I'm going to give the win to Seeker, just because Seeker can build some unkillable teams that you just can't build without Seeker. So he brings the uniqueness there. And I'll give Ostrox the number 2. I think that's a great new epic to add to the game. All right, Dark Elves, epics. We got Dark Hail in there. He's got poisons and poison activation and decreased attack on an AoE. I mean, that's a great kit. Dirindil is a pure damage dealer, does great damage using endgame Curse City, but is just a damage dealer. Rian the Conjurer is a reviver and can do a strip, and Madame Ceres can do a strip. Boy, both these two power crept by Stone Skin and Polymorph. Madame Ceres is one of the better champs in the game, just a great epic. She had a great run. Stone Skin and Polymorph just killed her. So I'll give the win to Dark Hail just because his kit is still effective everywhere. I'll give the second to Madame Ceres, I guess, even though unfortunately just not there. And I don't think the pinpoints do enough to put her back into the meta, unfortunately, but at least they're tried with pinpoint. Knight's Revenant, we got Miscreated, a great protection champ. He was back in the day, he was incredible, but he's definitely got other champs. Sinesha, good damage dealer and a great healer. You got Doom Priest, who's got really all she does is her passive. At the start of every round, she strips a random debuff from everybody on the team. Put her in Relentless, and she just helps doing that over and over. She does a decrease, other stuff too, increased attack, but just great kit for that, really. Rector Drath, a great epic. Revive, decrease attack, perfect veils on the team. Just a nice kit. And then you got Skull Crown as a damage dealer, and you got Whisper. You get a 6-star crushing run on Whisper, and she is crazy. I feel like she's not as useful otherwise, but she is a great damage dealer. Honestly, that's a very tough call. There's some really good epics in this faction. But I'm going to give it in a narrow win to Doom Priest first, just because she can that's a unique ability. And I'll give Rector Drath the runner-up. But yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, if I had a 6-star crushing run on Whisper, I'd make her 1, but I just can't count on that. All right, last few. Dwarves, epics. Well, basically, you've got Geomancer. That's a number 1. That's an easy one. We're done talking about anybody else because Geomancer is just crazy epic, and I won't even go through his kit because everybody knows who Geomancer is. Morag, really good endgame Cursed City, but the second place will go to Demitha. Enables unkillable teams, brings heals, continuous heal, increased duration of buffs. Demitha's an incredible champ. So Geo 1, Demitha 2, and honestly, those two could make the top 10 across the whole thing. All right, Shadowkin, epics. I got Toragi. He's got an ally attack. He's got decrease attack. He's got poisons. Sorry, not ally attack. He's got ally protection. Ally protection, shield, reflect damage. He's got decrease attack, and he puts poisons when he's hit. Great champ. He's my number 1. I don't even need to look at the rest. But honestly, as I look through the rest, there's a number of champs in here that have functionality, like Otatsu can do decreased defense, Fenshi can hit, Burangiri does some really nice control, and he's a tank. Kunoichi can be useful. Gori can be useful in Fire Knight Heart if you don't have Nelder or Creedon. Genmo can undo unkillable and kill people, kill through unkillable. He's a really good damage dealer. So you got a number of seconds in here, but honestly, they're all so good at there's a number of them that are good at just at something, but I'm giving Taragi the win, and I'm not even picking a second runner up there. All right, Sylvan Watchers. Strong epics in this. This is the newest faction. You can tell they're just building good epics here. You got Kellen, who is a great damage dealer, but kind of his sole claim to fame there. He's just a good damage dealer. But honestly, that's been pretty helpful because we didn't have a whole lot of damage dealers when this faction came out for a while. So Creodin, the blue, is excellent. He's got a turn meter fill when there's freeze. He's got increased speed on all allies. He's got an AoE with a 65% chance to freeze. He's got an A1 with chance to freeze. So great in Fire Knight hard, but also just great in controlling waves as well. Dythe is one of my favorite epics in the game. I love Dythe. He's just got accuracy in all battles, and then puts an increased attack, increased accuracy, and gives an extra turn, does an AoE decreased defense, gets an extra turn if it's placed on all enemies. And he's got an A1 where he can remove a buff from a target and a 10% chance of getting an extra turn. The dude just takes turn after turn, and he hits hard. So he does the decreased defense, but he hits hard too. This guy can just clear content. I love Dythe. And then two more epics. You got Ruel in here's great, and Nia's in here. She can reset skills. These two epics are just unique epics and both great. So many good epics in here, and I'm probably overlooking people. I'm giving Dythe the one just because I think he's just such a great champ at being able to manipulate. And I'll give Creodin the close second on that one. All right, I think that's it. I made it through them all. Whew. So I would love, nobody ever comments, but I'd love if you comment if there's somebody that you disagree with or somebody that you think I snubbed. But if you do say I snubbed somebody, you got to take somebody off. Like who did I have and who would you have had instead? So hope that was interesting for you. I actually enjoyed making it. So even if nobody ever watches it, I enjoyed it. You have a great day, and feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks.